Let me ask you something. What if I told you that right now, as you're reading this, there's a completely legal way to move your retirement money into physical gold and silver without the IRS taking a single penny? No taxes, no penalties, no red flags. And most financial advisors will never tell you about it because they don't make money when you do it. I'm going to walk you through exactly how this works, step by step. But first, you need to understand why this matters right now more than ever before. Your 401k is sitting in paper assets, stocks, bonds, maybe some mutual funds, and every single one of those is denominated in dollars, which means your retirement is betting everything on one thing, that the dollar will hold its value for the next 20, 30, maybe 40 years. How's that bet looking lately? In the last 4 years alone, the dollar has lost over 20% of its purchasing power. Your grocery bill knows it. Your gas tank knows it. Your retirement account? It's pretending everything is fine while the foundation crumbles underneath. But here's what most people don't realize. The tax code actually gives you a way out. It's called a rollover, and when done correctly, it's completely invisible to the IRS. Let me tell you about what happened to a guy named Robert. He's 62, worked his whole life at a manufacturing plant in Ohio, had about $340,000 in his 401k, watched it grow slowly over 35 years, felt pretty good about it. Then 2022 happened. His account dropped to $280,000. He told himself it would come back. It always does, right? Then 2023, more volatility. By early 2024, he was back to $310,000, still down from his peak, still losing sleep. Robert started asking questions. He talked to his financial advisor about moving some money into gold. The advisor told him it was a bad idea. Too risky. Too volatile. You'll get crushed on taxes if you try to move it. That last part? Complete nonsense. Robert did his own research, found out about gold IRAs, found out about rollovers, found out his advisor was either ignorant or lying, probably both. He moved $200,000 into physical gold and silver, paid zero in taxes, zero in penalties. The IRS never even blinked. That was 18 months ago. His gold position is up 38%. His remaining 401k up about 7%. You do the math. But here's the thing. Robert almost didn't do it because he believed the lie that moving retirement money triggers taxes. It's the biggest myth in retirement planning, and it keeps millions of people trapped in paper assets while their purchasing power evaporates. So let me break down exactly how this works. Step 1. You need to understand what a rollover actually is. When you move money from one qualified retirement account to another qualified retirement account, the IRS treats it as a non-taxable event. That's the law. It's been the law for decades. Your 401k is a qualified account. A gold IRA is also a qualified account. Same tax treatment, same rules. The only difference is what you're holding inside that account. Most people think gold in an IRA means buying some gold ETF or mining stocks. Wrong. I'm talking about physical metal, actual bars and coins sitting in a vault with your name on it. Step 2. You need to find a custodian. This is the company that holds your IRA and handles all the paperwork. Not all custodians handle precious metals. Most of the big ones don't because there's no recurring fees for them to skim. They want you in mutual funds where they get their cut every quarter. You need a custodian that specializes in self-directed IRAs. These are IRAs where you control what goes inside. Real estate, private equity, precious metals, whatever you want, as long as it's IRS approved. The custodian doesn't give you investment advice. They just hold your assets and file the paperwork. That's it. Their fee is usually a flat annual charge, maybe $300, maybe $500. Depends on the company. Step 3. You initiate the rollover. This is where people get nervous. They think it's complicated. It's not. You contact your new gold IRA custodian and tell them you want to roll over funds from your existing 401k. They send you a form. You fill it out. You send it to your current 401k administrator. Here's the critical part. You want a direct rollover. That means the money goes straight from your old account to your new account. It never touches your hands. The check is made out to your new custodian for your benefit. If you do an indirect rollover, where they send you the check and you have 60 days to deposit it into a new account, they're required to withhold 20% for taxes. You can get it back when you file your return, but it's a hassle. Direct rollover avoids all of that. Your 401k administrator might try to talk you out of it. They might tell you it's risky. They might make it sound complicated. They might drag their feet on the paperwork. That's because they're losing assets under management. They're losing their fees. Don't let them intimidate you. You have a legal right to move your money. They have a legal obligation to process your request within a reasonable time frame. Step 4. The money arrives at your new custodian. Now you're sitting in cash inside your gold IRA. No taxes paid, no penalties. Just a transfer from one qualified account to another. Step 5. You buy the metal. Your custodian will have relationships with approved dealers. You tell them what you want. Gold bars, silver eagles, whatever fits your strategy. The dealer quotes you a price. You approve it. The custodian sends the payment. The dealer ships the metal to an approved depository. This is important. You cannot take physical possession of the metal while it's in your IRA. If you do, the IRS treats it as a distribution that triggers taxes and penalties. The metal has to stay in an approved vault until you take a distribution in retirement. But it's your metal. It's segregated. It has your account number on it. It's not pooled with other people's assets. You can visit it if you want. You can have it audited. You can verify it's actually there. Step 6. You're done. You now own physical gold and silver inside a tax-advantaged retirement account. No taxes paid on the rollover, no penalties, completely legal, completely IRS approved. Now let me tell you what just happened on a deeper level. You just opted out of the dollar system with your retirement money. You're no longer betting that the Federal Reserve will maintain the dollar's value. You're no longer exposed to the stock market's wild swings. You're no longer trusting that the government won't inflate away your savings. You're holding the same asset that central banks are accumulating at the fastest pace in 50 years. The same asset that's been money for 5,000 years. The same asset that's up over 500% since 2000, while the dollar has lost half its value. But here's what nobody talks about. The tax advantages don't stop at the rollover. If you have a traditional 401k and you roll it into a traditional gold IRA, you're still tax deferred. You pay taxes when you take distributions in retirement, just like you would with any traditional IRA. But here's the kicker. You're paying taxes on dollars. And if gold keeps appreciating against the dollar, you're paying taxes on inflated nominal gains while your real purchasing power has increased even more. Let's say you roll over $200,000 into gold today. Gold doubles over the next 10 years. Your account is worth $400,000. You start taking distributions. You pay ordinary income tax on those distributions. But here's what really happened. The dollar probably lost another 30 or 40% of its value over that decade. So your $400,000 in nominal terms might only be worth $280,000 in today's purchasing power. You're paying taxes on phantom gains created by inflation. Now compare that to keeping your money in a 401k full of stocks and bonds. If the market goes up, great. But if inflation is running hot, your real returns are getting destroyed, and you're still paying taxes on the nominal gains. With gold, you're at least preserving purchasing power. With paper assets, you're hoping the market outpaces inflation. That's a much riskier bet. And if you're really strategic, you can do a Roth conversion. This is advanced, but hear me out. You roll your traditional 401k into a traditional gold IRA. No taxes. Then you convert portions of that traditional gold IRA into a Roth gold IRA over several years. You pay taxes on the converted amount in the year you convert it. Why would you do this? Because Roth accounts grow tax-free forever. No taxes when you take distributions. No required minimum distributions at 73. You can pass it to your heirs tax-free. If you believe gold is going significantly higher, you want to pay taxes on the lower value now and let it grow tax-free. You're essentially locking in a tax rate on today's gold price instead of tomorrow's much higher price. This is exactly what wealthy people do. They convert traditional accounts to Roth accounts when asset values are low. They pay the tax bill now to avoid a much bigger tax bill later. But most people never hear about this strategy because their financial advisor doesn't understand it or doesn't want them to do it. Let me tell you about another guy. His name is Michael. He's 57. Rolled over $400,000 into a gold IRA 3 years ago. Then he started doing Roth conversions. $50,000 a year. Paid the taxes out of pocket from his savings. Why? Because he's convinced gold is going to $5,000 an ounce within 5 years. Maybe $10,000 within 10 years. If he's right, he just saved himself hundreds of thousands in future taxes. Even if he's only half right, he still comes out way ahead. Now here's the part where I need to be straight with you. This isn't for everyone. If you're 25 years old and you've got 40 years until retirement, you might be better off staying in stocks. You've got time to ride out the volatility. You've got time to recover from crashes. You've got time for compound growth to work its magic. But if you're 55, 60, 65, you don't have time. You can't afford a 2008 style crash right before you retire. You can't afford to watch your account drop 40% and hope it comes back before you need the money. That's when gold makes sense. That's when preservation matters more than growth. That's when you need to protect what you've spent a lifetime building. And right now, the setup for gold is better than it's been in decades. Central banks bought over 1,000 tons last year. China, Russia, India, Poland, Singapore. They're dumping dollars and buying gold. They see what's coming. The BRICS nations are building a gold-backed trade settlement system. They're trying to bypass the dollar entirely. If they succeed, even partially, the demand for dollars drops. The value of dollars drops. The price of gold in dollar terms explodes. The U.S. national debt just crossed $36 trillion. That's trillion with a T. The interest payments alone are over $1 trillion a year now. There's no mathematical way to pay that back without inflating the currency. The Federal Reserve is trapped. If they raise rates to fight inflation, they crash the economy, and the government can't afford the debt payments. If they lower rates and print money, inflation spirals out of control. Either way, gold wins. And here's the thing nobody wants to admit. The government knows this. They know the dollar is in trouble. They know the debt is unsustainable. They know inflation is the only way out. But they can't tell you that. Because if they did, everyone would panic. Everyone would dump dollars. Everyone would buy hard assets. The whole system would collapse overnight. So instead, they tell you everything is fine. They tell you inflation is transitory. They tell you the economy is strong. They tell you to keep your money in stocks and bonds and trust the system. And most people believe them, because it's easier to believe the lie than face the truth. But you don't have to be most people. You can take action right now. You can move your retirement money into real assets. You can protect yourself from what's coming, and you can do it without paying a penny in taxes. Let me walk through the exact timeline so you know what to expect. Week 1. You research custodians. You pick one. You call them. You tell them you want to open a gold IRA and roll over funds from your 401k. They send you the paperwork. Week 2. You fill out the forms. You send them back. The custodian contacts your 401k administrator and initiates the rollover. Week 3 to 6. This is the waiting period. Your 401k administrator processes the request. They might drag their feet. They might call you to try to talk you out of it. Stay firm. The money eventually gets sent to your new custodian. Week 7. The funds arrive. You're now sitting in cash inside your gold IRA. You contact your custodian and tell them you want to buy metal. They connect you with a dealer. Week 8. You approve the purchase. The dealer ships the metal to the depository. You receive confirmation that your metal is in the vault. Done. 8 weeks from start to finish. Maybe 10 if your 401k administrator is really slow. And at no point did you pay taxes. At no point did you pay penalties. At no point did the IRS even notice. Now here's what happens next. You sleep better. Because you know your retirement isn't tied to the stock market's mood swings. You know you're holding something real. Something that's been valuable for thousands of years. Something that central banks are hoarding. You stop checking your account every day. Because gold doesn't move like stocks. It's not up 3% one day and down 4% the next. It's stable. It's boring. It just sits there and holds value. And over time, as the dollar continues to lose purchasing power, as the debt continues to grow, as the Fed continues to print, your gold quietly appreciates. Not because gold is going up, because the dollar is going down. That's the secret nobody tells you. Gold isn't an investment. It's insurance. It's a hedge against monetary chaos. It's a way to preserve wealth when everything else is falling apart. And the best part? You can do this multiple times. You can roll over your 401k. You can roll over an old IRA. You can roll over a 403b if you're a teacher or work for a nonprofit. Any qualified retirement account can be rolled into a gold IRA. You can even do partial rollovers. You don't have to move everything. You can move 50% into gold and leave 50% in stocks. You can move 75% into gold and keep 25% in bonds. Whatever allocation makes sense for your situation. The point is, you have options. You have control. You don't have to just sit there and hope the system doesn't collapse before you retire. Let me tell you one more story. This one's about a woman named Patricia. She's 68. Retired 3 years ago with about $600,000 in her 401k. Thought she was set. Then inflation hit. Her fixed income wasn't keeping up. Her account wasn't growing fast enough. She was watching her purchasing power erode in real time. She heard about gold IRAs, did her research, rolled over $300,000, kept $300,000 in her existing account for liquidity. That was 2 years ago. Her gold position is up 42%. Her stock position is up about 12%. She just rebalanced, sold some gold, bought more stocks, locked in gains. Now she's got more purchasing power than when she retired. She's not worried about inflation anymore. She's not worried about market crashes. She's actually enjoying retirement instead of stressing about money. That's what this is really about. Peace of mind, security, knowing you've protected what you've worked your whole life to build, and you can start the process today. Right now, this afternoon. Find a custodian. Make the call. Get the paperwork started. Because here's the truth. The window for this might not stay open forever. The government is already talking about changing IRA rules. They're talking about required minimum distributions starting earlier. They're talking about limiting the types of assets you can hold. They're talking about wealth taxes. They see people moving money into gold. They see people opting out of the dollar system, and they don't like it. Right now, it's legal. Right now, it's easy. Right now, you can do it without triggering any taxes. But that could change. And when it does, it'll be too late. So don't wait. Don't procrastinate. Don't tell yourself you'll look into it next month. Do it now. While you still can. While the rules are still in your favor, your future self will thank you. Because when the next crisis hits, and it will hit, you'll be protected. You'll be insulated. You'll be holding real assets while everyone else is watching their paper wealth evaporate. And you'll know you made the right decision. You'll know you took action when it mattered. You'll know you didn't just sit there and hope for the best. You did something. You protected yourself. You moved your 401k into gold without triggering a single tax event. Step by step. Legally. Safely. Smartly. That's how you win this game. That's how you preserve wealth in a world of monetary chaos. That's how you retire with dignity instead of desperation. The choice is yours. The tools are available. The path is clear. All you have to do is take the first step.